Hey, welcome to ShareTreck. This is Raj here. I think I'll switch on the lights, have a little more light. Uh, just confirm that we have proper lighting. Okay, this is much better. Let's get started with our schedule for today. Very interesting day ahead of us. Okay, here we go. So this morning, the US stock futures are edging higher pre-market. As you can see here, the S&P 500 is up 0.16%, NASDAQ up 0.28%. These are all futures I'm talking about. And I think people are waiting for the Microsoft and Amazon earnings and also the Fed rate decision. These are the things that are in the focus for today. And yesterday, all major US indices posted mild losses, breaking the S&P 500 six-day winning streak as investors digested mixed earnings from Dow components and cautious sentiments ahead of Fed meeting. We also had Jim Cramer talking about companies which started showing in their earnings the impact of tariff, and he was not too happy about it. It was but inevitable. I mean, in this channel, we have been talking about the tariff effects and how it's likely to increase the inflation and push the US towards a recession. I think we have made more videos about that, so we'll just proceed ahead. When I talk about the stocks and the indices on the TradingView platform, I'll show you how the indices are giving us an illusion of going up, but in the last 3 days, they have actually been coming down. So that's a very interesting observation out there. And also, the Fed is expected to hold interest rates steady at 4.25% to 4.5%, with nearly 98% probability of no change. The focus is going to be on any forward-looking statements about a rate cut in September, whether confirming or pushing it back. And I think the internal division within the Fed is likely to be highlighted the way they are. I think Trump has this knack of getting anybody to fight with each other. So there are people who are positioning themselves in the Fed board to be the next Fed chief. And that's basically the willingness to cut rates. And we'll have to see how Powell positions himself when he talks about this. He's just got maybe 6 or 7 months left in his terms. So there is no risk out there. I don't think Trump is going to sack him or anything. But we still have the Epstein problem. So you can expect drastic moves for distraction. So if anything comes in the area of economy and the stock market, I think the markets are bound to react. Now, Microsoft and Meta platforms are in focus. Also, Amazon is in focus because Microsoft, Meta, Amazon, they're all going to report after the bell. And both are under scrutiny for the financial payoff on heavy AI infrastructure investment, both Meta and Microsoft. And analysts are watching the EPS, revenues, and forward guidance. This ties in with what I said yesterday as well. All these companies are putting billions of dollars into AI infrastructure. That is pushing up NVIDIA's stock price, because as these companies increase their spending on AI hardware, all that money is going to NVIDIA. And between them, NVIDIA, Microsoft, Google, Meta, Amazon, all of them are pulling the indices up to the weightage of around 30%. So if any of these companies start reducing their expenditure, which they are got to do sometime or the other, because they have to monetize AI in such a way that all these huge investments are giving the EPS that is expected. If that contribution doesn't come, and due to tariffs, if their clients are cutting down on spending the current technology, then you could see a really interesting mix of circumstances that could make companies like Microsoft, Meta, Amazon, etc., to reduce their infrastructure investments. That in turn can bring down NVIDIA, and this virtuous upward spiral, synergistic spiral, can be converted to a unfortunate downward synergistic spiral, and that can be vicious. So one has to be very careful of that. That's what I'm thinking. And Thursday will bring Apple and Amazon earnings, rounding out a volatile week for big tech. And US and China global tensions are going on. The talks concluded in Stockholm without any extension of the tariff pause. Trump is expected to make a final call before August 12 deadline for China. Meanwhile, a fresh US-EU trade pact has already halved many tariffs to 15%. When they say half to 15% in the media, they are forgetting that it was way less. All Trump did was, put 25% and then brought it down to 15%. The fact remains that we didn't have 15% tariffs on EU before. So that should be remembered. And when the market comes to realize that, it will realize that when they look at the EPS as the earnings roll out this quarter and the next quarter, and that's when the impact will start sinking in. So keep that in mind. Also, China and India are hedged closer. India is importing soya oil from China instead of going to Latin America. And they are trying between themselves to hold off, because China and India both have not yet buckled into the US pressure. And India is more inward-looking economy, and it has got a whole lot of population to support. And already the per capita income in India is somewhere around $2,700. So how much more can they suffer, right? So it's all at the bottom line. So we'll have to wait and watch what happens in that sector. And there's a huge population out there. And probably if they hold on, then EU and Canada and Australia, all of those could coagulate around there and form some kind of a resistance over the 9 to 10 months period ahead. Also, we're looking forward to the midterms and all the impact of whatever the other countries do anti-tariff will start manifesting in the voter sentiment. Also, economic data and it is something that we need to look at. Q2 GDP annualized is forecasted at 2.4% positive, rebounding after Q1 contraction. And this data is going to be coming out at 8:30 a.m. today. And if it's not in that range, then expect the impact on the markets. We also have ADP private payrolls, July coming out, pending home sales, and those things will be a set of data points that we could watch and get some idea about what's happening with the economy. And these numbers feed into expectation for Friday's closely watched US jobs and PCE inflation reports. So a lot of action this week, and also Max 7 earnings, Element's earnings coming up. And also you can see that Starbucks is up 4.8% pre-market after revenue beat, slowing US store traffic, and Seagate is down 5.9% on weak revenue guidance. And another company that I think one of our subscribers, David Best, has been harping on very, very strongly is Sarepta Therapeutics. It's up 10% after FDA greenlighting for a muscular dystrophy drug. Now, this muscular dystrophy condition has been targeted by many drug companies, and there have been deaths and other things. It's a high-risk therapy, but Sarepta seems to have got a green light now. So we have to be cautiously optimistic for that. And also, Humana is up 5% following an earnings beat and guidance revision. So those are some of the good things that I feel that has happened in the pre-market session. And oil prices are holding their gains, and global stock markets show that Asia finished mixed, and Europe opened slightly higher with investors awaiting US Fed news. And also macro sentiment and outlook shows that markets are focused on Fed's views and big tech reserves for future directions, with additional volatility likely as tariff cues, deadline, and major employment or inflation data approach later in the week. So that's what we are looking at, my friends. Now let's go ahead and get into the trading view platform and look at what's happening. Let's look at S&P 500 futures. S&P 500 futures are up around 0.13%. It's mildly up. But as I said, in the last 3 days, right, we have stayed below this diagonal line of resistance, and we have come down. And we have a line of support at 6,377.75. I'm going to make this line a little bit thicker so that you can see it in your smaller devices. So this line at 6,377.75 is going to be the support for today. And the resistance for today, again, is going to be 6,464. Now, if the earnings come out well, we could see some movement out there. But I think our bearish divergence is starting to manifest slowly and start to show on the price chart. We'll watch it for a few more days to see what's happening. You'll also see that the bullish sentiment has tapered off and it's almost close to neutral, setting up for further downturn. NASDAQ futures, also if you have a look at NASDAQ futures, they're up 0.28%, but still they're way below the diagonal line of resistance. And this could have been a topping tail, the second hammer that we see out here, inverted hammer. I'm just going to improve the size of the chart so that you can see it properly. And today we are up a little bit, but we have support at around 23,426. And our resistance for today is going to be 23,862. Again, bearish divergence still persists and it's trying to manifest on the pricing. So we'll see what happens later on. Everything depends on earnings later this evening and the Fed commentary, which are forward-looking about rate cut in September. Now, if you look at dollar index, I think it's going for a double top out here. We'll see what happens when we reach the resistance at 99.17. And the long-term bonds, 10-year is up 0.28%, 20-year is up 0.25%, and 30-year is up 0.29%. But when you look at these things closely, you will see that we now have a reverse head and shoulder, and we were looking for a head and shoulder pattern, a reverse head and shoulder pattern. I'm going to just delete these two, and I'll just put head and shoulders pattern out here. So if you look at the head and shoulders pattern, I think you can look at this as a shoulder, this as the head, and this as the shoulder. And the neckline is getting triggered, so which means that we'll see further drop in the yields. And our support for that drop is going to be 4.13%. That's the way I'm looking at it, and it looks almost similar in all the charts for long-term bonds. Also on the 30-year, you have the same. So the outlook has changed overall. Now let's go on and have a look at the indicators themselves. S&P 500, it's going to get support today on the diagonal line of support at around 6,345.66. And let me briefly look at our chat section. Inf has been brewing up a storm out here. Yes, he says, I thought of a way CRISPR Therapeutics can recapture the 100 price point. CRISPR can use 900 million of their $1.9 billion and donate it and build a Trump golf course. Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's possible. And just, yeah, it will get a lot of publicity and Trump will hype it up and he gets a Trump bump. Okay. Per capita has income in India has a large concentrated wealth. That's correct. There are a lot of very rich people and a lot of very poor people. Microsoft, Meta, and Hood. I'm doing a separate video on Microsoft today, and I'll have one for Meta. I'll check out Robinhood before we close today. A technical analysis. Okay, I'll do that for today. Okay. That said, let me get back into the chart since. Thanks for the request and the interaction. Now, coming back to NASDAQ. NASDAQ also has got a diagonal line of resistance, which is going to provide resistance today at around 23,636 and a support at around 23,273. So that's the range. We still are plateauing out here. Let me change the widget that I have, change it into a pointer, pull this out. So we still have bearish divergence out here, and we have a hard stop on the RSI, which is pushing us down. So we may continue doing this and consolidating and probably coming down slowly. So NASDAQ is showing a lot of resilience out here. VIX is further going down. It's down 1.50% in pre-market trades. Gold is inching up a little bit. Friends, I bought some ZGLD. It's in the positive right now, but it faces resistance out here. And the resistance for today is going to be around 3,344 for gold. Still a bearish outlook, a bearish sentiment, and bearish MACD. But I'm pretty sure that it's bouncing back. With QQQ, we are seeing that the market is positioned for 0.24% gain at open. And we have this diagonal line of support, which I'm going to drag out. Just bear with me while I work this out. This is a diagonal line of support, and we are above that. And for today, the diagonal line of support is going to be 562.31. And I don't think that I can see any resistance out there because it's all blue sky from here. Put call ratio has become more neutral. That is just a trace of bullishness, but it's almost neutral at 0.94, very close to 1. And that said, let's go on and have a look at some of the shares out here in the AI sector. I'm looking at NVDA, which is up 0.62%, still gets a support at 174.75 for today. And it has a resistance at around 139.29 for today. Pre-market, it's at 176.59. Meta is up 0.79%. They'll report their Q2 earnings today, with analysts expecting $5.88 per share as EPS and $44.8 billion in sales, a 15% year-over-year rise, mainly from ad sales. If those expectations are not met, we'll be back below this diagonal line of resistance. We are right now poised on top of the diagonal line of support, which could become a resistance if we don't meet the expectations. If we meet the expectations, we'll have support at 706.18, and we'll have resistance at 737.07. Now let's look at Google. Google is down 0.17% in pre-market trades. It continues to have support at 193.73 for today. I'm going to mark this as green. And then you look at Amazon, which is going to report very soon. We have Amazon reports up on 31st after hours, which is tomorrow. And we have this diagonal line of support out here, which is showing a support today at 228.39. And we have a target for Amazon, which is at 258.77. We'll have to see whether we meet those targets, which was a reverse head and shoulder target. And of course, we have this cup and handle target out here, which also could take us all the way up to where we are right now. So it'll be interesting to watch what happens. We also have the bearish divergence going on out here for Amazon. So the earnings are very critical. We also have Apple, which is up 0.27%. Apple is reporting on the 31st after hours. So the support for Apple is going to be at around 207.21. And we are looking at Microsoft, which reports later on today in the evening after hours. EPS estimate is 3.375 as per TradingView, and revenue estimate is 73.81 billion as per TradingView platform. Let us see what comes out. And we have had a gap up and we have had a sustained increase. So these kind of setups typically indicate to me that we are going to have buy the rumor, sell the news kind of an event. I'm not sure if that will happen every instance. We may have some blockbuster information in the Microsoft earnings report, but that's one possibility. We'll wait and watch what happens out there. I don't have any Microsoft on me. I'm short on Microsoft. So it's very critical for me what happens out there. Tesla is eking out a minor positive of 0.26% in pre-market. This is a second expense item from Tesla. I'm not saying that Tesla should not spend money. They announced the Samsung semiconductor tie-up, and now they're talking about LG Energy Solution, a contract of $4.3 billion for supply of lithium iron phosphate batteries. So all of these things are on the expense side. We have to see some news on the revenue side. I'm bearish on Tesla overall. I have got PSLQ holding on to it. And I'm thinking that we are on the downward trend for Tesla. This could be a bear flag. We'll see what happens when the market opens and how the trend progresses. Oracle continues to keep on making gains. It keeps on making bull flags and moving up, bull flags and moving up. Bullish sentiment is still intact, even though it has tapered off quite a bit. MACD is bearish, but tending towards the signal line. And momentum is pretty strong, and RSI still has room because in the past we had gone all the way up to 87.44 on the RSI scale before being pushed down. So I'm thinking Oracle looks pretty good. AMD is down 0.55% in pre-market trades. Doesn't matter much. The only worry I have is whether this could be a topping tail because we are at the peak. So it will be very critical to see what happens in the next couple of days. If we continue moving down, then I would say that this is the topping tail. And topping tails usually indicate a trend reversal. And if the topping tail is taken out in the next 2 or 3 days, then we can just forget about it and say we are going up. And next, we are looking at SMCI, which is up 2.01%. And the analysts have raised earnings per share forecast for SMCI to 74 cents for the fourth quarter of 2025, reflecting a 138% increase from the current estimate of 31 cents. And that's what gives this bullishness out here. And we have the earnings report coming up on the 5th of August, 2025. So I'm expecting a little bit of bull flag formation out here and move up until we reach the earnings date. And we have a hard stop out here, which is going to be at around 66.21. I think if we reach 66.21, we are going to find significant resistances out there. And then we have Broadcom, which is up 0.04%. And we have the support, which is going to be at 291.12. I'm going to mark this green. That's the support for today. I don't have any resistance out there. Palantir is struggling a little bit out here, but I think it's creating a bull flag or a bullish pennant. And I still have a target of 174.84 for Palantir. Sentiment is bullish. MACD is also bullish. Momentum is above average, still have room on the RSI. We have earnings coming out on the 4th of August, 2025. So a little bit consolidation and a move up is what I'm thinking. And we have SMH, which is up 0.55%. Of course, it's driven by NVDA and AMD. TEPSAI is up 0.79%. It's going to have a lot of resistance at 59.39. We'll mark this as a red color. And this diagonal line of resistance will also persist. It's also marked in red. Today, pre-market, we are up 0.84%. We are at 58.79. Then I'd like to go on to have a look at genomics. Oh, before I go to genomics, let me go back into AI and let me add Hood. You've wanted a little bit of analysis on Hood. So I'm taking Robinhood. We are looking at this stock for the first time, and this is a one-day chart, and we have had a steady decrease in the stock price. So I would put this as a bull channel. We are way above the bull channel, and we have been continuing to make bull flags and then moving up, and then a bull flag and then moving up. So at this point of time, I would say that the last bull flag that we created was up here, and then we have this move downwards. This is the flag portion. This is the flagpole. So if I take this flagpole and I put it out at the exit point of the flag, which I would assume to be somewhere out here, roughly. So I would have a target of 121.95. Another factor that could go in support of Hood is just because of the fact that there's a lot of frenzy in the market right now, and there's potential volatility up ahead. What happens when those kind of conditions persist is that day traders come out in full force, and there's a whole lot of trading that happens, and trading revenue could go up for Hood. The other aspect that could also go up for Hood is because of crypto activities and crypto becoming more mainstream. So all of those things can lead to Robinhood getting further up. Now, we also have Robinhood's CEO, saying that he aims to transform the platform into a full financial service provider by introducing new products like a banking app and wealth management services. Typically, you have retail banks expanding into mutual funds, retirement products, and then into wealth management and personal portfolio management and so on and so forth, and then getting into mortgage and stuff like that. Now we have a different situation here. Robinhood, which started with a trading platform, is likely to get into wealth management, which means they'll come up with mutual funds and ETFs and things like that. The potential is immense, and they can go into retail banking and student loans and stuff like that. You'll see more of them morphing more and more, like we have SoFi. So those kind of changes might happen. All of those things, in my opinion, seem to be positive catalysts. At first glance, of course, I have not studied Robinhood too much. This is my 2 cents based on the little that I have seen so far. If I have taken care of this request of yours. For the others, I think I'll have to come back again, but it will be worthwhile to look at Microsoft and see what is happening in Microsoft with regard to the earnings situation. Can I have any new insights out here? No, I don't have any new insights except to point out again that we have the bearish divergence manifesting very strongly. So I'm thinking that this is going to be a buy the rumor, sell the news event for Microsoft. And yeah, I don't have any Microsoft with me. So that's one. For Amazon, we'll do it tomorrow. And yeah, that's it. Now let's go on to genomics. With regard to Prime, what I would say is that for Prime, we are seeing a steady drop. I wouldn't call this a bull flag, because in a bull flag, you have a pattern. See, this was a bull flag pattern because this was the flagpole, and this down out here was the flat, and then this was supposed to be the breakout, but we topped out. This was a topping tail, in my opinion. And then after that, we have not been able to clear it out. And since then, we have been going down. Even if this was a flagpole, we have already fallen below the flagpole. Typically, a flag should not go beyond 50% of the flagpole on its way down. The moment it does that, then it becomes a bear channel. So I think we are in a bear channel right now. And if we were to draw a diagonal line of resistance out here, you will see a bear channel forming. This would be the diagonal line of resistance. Our bullish sentiment is cratering fast, and MACD has become bearish, and momentum has dropped, and it's going towards average. So the direction doesn't look good, in my opinion. Of course, then we want to look at Caribou Biosciences, which is up 5.10%. This is all sentiment. It is bounced off the support, which was found at around 1.92, this green line of support, and it's bounced up. And 1.92 continues to be the support for today, and the resistance for today is 2.26. And of course, we are then going on to Beam, which is moving towards a support of 19.05. Pre-market, it's up 1.79%. It's at 20.28. And I think the resistance for today is going to be 22.17. Altimmune is up 0.52%. It's still creating this flag pattern out here. This is the bull flag, and it's still above the 50% of the flagpole. So I'm hopeful that we turn around and find a resistance at 5 pattern, go through, and it's a disconnection. Guys, are you able to see me? Because I'm getting an alert that says OBS has disconnected. Okay. Thank you. I'm back. Yeah, I got a warning that I got disconnected. So I just retraced back a few sentences that I said that you might have probably missed. I am saying that Editas had this 3 black crows pattern, which is 3 red candles, and then it has topped it to another one. It's all sentiment based, and I think I'll dig into what's happening out there. If any news, I'll make a video for you. But UVIDA continues to look pretty good. It has got a very solid support at 103.27. And today it's up 0.40%. I would very much love to buy a little bit of Illumina, but the price is very high for me. I'm sitting on a lot of cash. But if I put that much money into a single stock of Illumina, it would be difficult for me to have money for something else. And also, we don't have Illumina on the Canadian depository side, where it is much more affordable to buy big shares. So I'm going to see if I get an opportunity to buy Illumina somehow. I might like to buy some, because I think that we are heading towards 136.17 with Illumina. CRISPR Therapeutics is up 1.27%. It managed to fall below this diagonal line of support, which I'm going to pull through. This is a very strong diagonal line of support. Somehow we fell down yesterday, and today we are lingering on top of it. The support is at 59.74 for today, and we are at 59.77 today. And I'm hopeful that we're going to stay above that. And if we do, then we'll be laying a foundation for further movement upwards, because the sentiment is continuing to be bullish. There was a brief dip by the MACD into the bearish side, which should repair today. Momentum is dropping, and we have earnings on the 11th of August, 2025. The CEO had promised a whole lot of catalysts this year. I'm not seeing much so far. So I'm anticipating that given half of the year is over, the catalyst should start rolling out right now, and it's going to be helping us to move up. So I'm putting a lot of hope on the earnings that is coming up. And as you can see, the market has also put a lot of hope by raising continuously and steeply. And they're getting a bit jittery right now, so the correction is taking place. So I'm thinking consolidation, earnings report, a few catalysts out, and then we move up further. Please let me know what you guys think. Put it in the comment section, and I'll check it out. Allotine is up 4.29%. Rail is up 1.99%. PACV, Trump, of course. yeah. Stroke his ego and you'll get a lot of boost. Okay, PACV is forming a bull flag pattern out here. Hopefully it breaks out on the upside. Pre-market it is flag. If it breaks out on the upside, everything is nicely set up for a little bit of a move. And if that move comes in, I would project that move to be, let me take this as a flagpole. I'm taking a very conservative approach. If we break out here today, this is the flag. If we break out here today, then 1.92 is what we are looking at. It's all chump change when you look at big picture. RG is up 1.38%. It's bounced off this minor line of support that we have out here. And this is going to continue to be a support today at 24.66. Pre-market, we are at 24.96. And we have Vertex, which is up 0.31%. Ginkgo Bioworks, I have to dig into Ginkgo Bioworks. We haven't done anything for a long time. So that is something that I would like to work on and come up with a video. And we have pre-market gain of 1.63% out here. A bull flag is being formed. If it breaks out, then we'll go up significantly further. So that's the positive out there. And then we have Unicure, which is up 8.85% this morning. Unicure is maintained at buy by Shardon Capital. Probably that's giving the little bit of boost that it has got. But I don't have any insights for Unicure. IMTX is flat in pre-market trading. I'm still on Precision, which is up 7.64% this morning. It's jumped to 1.69. My purchase price is 1.93. So I'm still at a loss, but I'm waiting and watching how this goes, because third week of August is when we get the verdict. 83% of the time, BLA gets approved. So I'm hoping that President falls into that 83%, gets a little bit of a bump. And I'm going to be out at $2 with Precision. I'm not going to stay there for too long. It's a small speculative stake. That's about it, just for the excitement of it. So my friends, that brings me to an end of today's session. And if you guys have anything that you want to ask me, we can do that right now. I've also got an announcement to make. We had great success with our sister channel, ShareTreck HIV, which has got around 40 members and almost close to 20,000 subscribers. So I have rebranded that into TheraTreck, where we're going to talk about all the therapies, how they work. We're going to take up all disease indications like diabetes, heart disease, liver conditions, and then we're going to describe how those diseases work in the body and the current standard of care. And then we're going to talk about each of the therapies that are in research in the clinical trial. We'll talk how they work, what is the probability of success, and what it might probably cost. It's all coming from the patient's perspective. That will be on the separate channel, which is ShareTreck. Please check it out when you get the chance, and if possible, please subscribe to it so that you can get even more insights onto therapeutics, because out here it's more of a investor's perspective. That you'll get an even more deeper dive into therapies on how they work and the possibility of success. So friends, we are we are talking, Inf is asking for Meta. Yeah, we did Meta, we just checked it, but let me just quickly go through Meta for you once more. I don't remember doing Meta, so let's go into Meta. Meta is has got this diagonal line of support, which momentarily become a diagonal line of resistance. And for today, it's at 706.61. We are at 705.70, up 0.81% in pre-market trading. So I'm thinking that support for today is 705.76. This diagonal line of support, assuming we open above this, and resistance for today is going to be 737.07. In a way, when I look at this, I still see it as a bull flag, which we want to break out from. I just momentarily remove this and come up with a flat pattern out here. This is one line out here, and this is the other line. So this is the flag that we have, and this is the flagpole. And if we break out from here, then we can put some targets. But if we don't break out from here, and if we continue moving downwards, then I think I would have to turn this into a bear channel, because right now it is starting to look more and more like a bear channel because it has already pierced the 50% and gone below. I'm giving the benefit of doubt right now, but sentiment has turned bearish. MACD is bearish, momentum is below average, and earnings are due. And remember, we were speaking about the capex spending on the infrastructure piece. So they may probably come out and say, you know what, our EP has gone down a little bit because of our spending on AI infrastructure. So we are going to put the AI infrastructure spending on hold, improve our EPS, and bring it back in line. So if any such thing happens, and the whole share market is likely to come down because they have to push down NVDA and AMD price, which in turn is going to push down the Mag 7s, and also the guys like Palantir and Tempest AI and all those AI plays, they will all go down. And Mag 7 is almost 30% of the index weight in terms of pulling it up. So that's going to push it down. So we are sitting on a very balanced situation. Earnings have to justify, and also future outlook has to justify, not just beating EPS and revenue or meeting EPS and revenue. We need to beat it, and we also need to give a rosy outlook going forward so that the market can continue having this kind of bullishness. Otherwise, I think we are likely to see the flip. And I'm already positioned for it and shorted on S&P 500. I'm also shorted on Mag 7. So that's my disclosure. So with that, my friends, I would like to finish the video today. Please don't forget to check out ShareTreck. I'll put a link in the description. It was earlier called ShareTreck HIV, focusing on HIV. Now it's focused on all the major diseases and the therapies, current standard of care, and all the clinical trials that are going on for each of those diseases. As I mentioned, I'm going to cover diabetes, both type 1 and type 2. I'm going to cover heart diseases, ALS, DMD, and you may even talk about liver ailments and all those things. Everything will be covered out there. So please check it out, and please subscribe and support the channel and support my work and help me grow as a content creator. You guys have seen me develop from a very amateur position to a much better situation right now. Our lighting is better, our sound is better, our script is better, and I'm more comfortable in front of the camera. Thanks to you guys, thanks to your support. Please continue extending the support with the ShareTreck channel. Thanks and have a great day. Bye for now.